There's such a wide variety of what being gay can mean. So like, oh, if I'm in a locker room and you tap your buddy's ass, like, yeah, it's a little gay, you know?
Everyone is a little bit gay. 3, 2, 1, go.
This one's a tough one because like I definitely have like straight friends who wouldn't do anything with me even though I find them very attractive, and I joke around with them. I'm like, dude, I'd hit. I'm like, yeah. I know they wouldn't do anything. I think a lot of straight guys don't do it because it's like, oh, no homo, bro. The no homo thing is like so social. If you guys like actually stood away from that and like, I don't know, experimented and tried out for yourselves, you might actually find out that you like some certain things.
I mean, well, sexuality is definitely a spectrum, and I think there's so many things between the spectrum, but there also are those two polar opposite ends of the spectrum. So I think people definitely do identify as very, very straight and very, very gay.
Well, and the only reason I'm on this line is because of what you said. Like, there's a spectrum, right? So there's such a wide variety of what being gay can mean. So like, oh, if I'm in a locker room and you tap your buddy's ass, like, yeah, it's a little gay, you know?
People are born gay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi guys. So I think this is more of a multifaceted question because I consider gay as not just who you're sexually attracted to, it's part of an entire experience. So if they discover themselves and they realize, hey, maybe I could have a relationship with someone of the same sex, does that mean they magically became bi at that point, or are they born that way?
Definitely, I agree. I don't think that people are born gay. However, I do think people are born with like certain tendencies that can line up with being gay, if that makes sense. So like being a little more sensitive, or being like not having an interest in sports but having more interest in art. It's kind of like a bucket, and you just happen to have all these little tiny things in your bucket when you're born, but that doesn't make you gay, kind of thing.
So then in that regard, then would you say that being gay is a choice? Because that's
Absolutely not a choice, because you can ask any straight person, be gay for a day. It's not a choice.
And I think you guys were kind of touching upon more than just the sexuality aspects, some like the cultural aspects, the mannerisms of being gay. I think those are culturally learned things, and also things that you're comfortable with and how you express yourself. But I think from like a sexuality standpoint, I mean, sexuality develops as you're going through puberty, and like you're not like, you know, coming out of the womb like, hey, let's like have sex, you know, like you're a child, you're developing it, and it's kind of growing as you grow. And so, you know, you don't choose, you just have to, you know, be who you are.
I prefer masculine men. 3, 2, 1.
Personally, I'm a really feminine, flamboyant person, so just having that same energy with another person just doesn't seem really attractive to me. I want to find someone who's like different, unique, and someone I can learn from. So just like having someone who's almost identical or similar to me, I feel like I wouldn't grow enough.
I'm on this line because I want someone who is my equal. Like, I identify as a masculine man, therefore, I think the reason I strongly agree is just because I want that equality in my relationship as a masculine man.
I think, yes, there's a lot of innate attraction of what you like, what you're born with, but like also there's so much, I think there's a lot of social pressure that you don't even realize it's happening subconsciously of what like you're trained to like. Because I do like masculine men as well. And then I was like kind of taking a step back, like, wait, why is that? Why do I like that? Like, am I being kind of force-fed that?
When I was growing up, you know, gay men were defined as feminine. And I was had a lot of feminine characteristics as a young boy. And I was singled out because of that and bullied some because of that. But I sort of was always drawn to people who were masculine. And I don't know if it was because if there were people who were feminine, that reminded me of parts of myself I didn't like. I think there's probably an aspect of that. But you're sort of attracted to what you're attracted to. I think there's not a lot of logic in it.
Grinder is unhealthy. 3, 2,
think Grindr and like dating apps are a really complex topic. I think there's a lot of good and a lot of bad. For me personally, I think the bad outweighs the good. Specifically Grindr, the way it's set up, it's a very hookup based app. And so like it really taught me to like see other gay men as like more objects and more of like pieces of meat kind of thing than actual people.
Well, me personally, I'm more like a romantic guy. Like I'm in it for like the long run with someone, kind of. So the fact that a lot of the guys that I have went out with only wanted sex, I think has a lot to do. I think has a lot to do with like dating apps like Grindr, where it's just like sex-based. I think it fuels that like sex fire that a lot of gay men seem to have.
I think there need to be more arenas in which gay men can meet each other. I'm a gay father. I have a daughter who's 18 and a son who's 13. When I was growing up, the idea of a gay man growing up and getting married and being monogamous and being happy and having children was from Mars. And when my husband and I were starting to have our kids, we met with a group of people called the Poplet Club, and it was gay men who wanted to become fathers. And it wasn't until that time that I finally found my tribe. It was like, oh my God, these are people like me. They weren't any sort of gay stereotype, they just wanted to have families. And that's what you don't see on Grindr or anywhere else like that.
Pride Month is necessary. 3, 2, 1, go.
I am on somewhat disagree because I believe Pride Month was necessary because we were in a time where gays weren't allowed to be who they are and basically everything we are now, and that's great. I just think like the Pride Month was good when we needed it, and it's good to keep up with traditions, but I think it just goes a little too far sometimes for me personally.
Coming out too, I think for everybody, it's a process. From the time you begin to realize you're gay until you hopefully can fully accept it one day. There were years where it was like, I would never go near that pride. I would like go 6 blocks out of the way not to be associated with it because it was so scary to me. And it was a gradual process. And the first time I did do it, it was the most empowering moment just to be part of thousands of people.
I had that same feeling too, yeah.
Yeah.
I think pride is so important. I think pride is so important. And like, because I mean, we have a lot more rights than we did 50, 60 years ago, but like we're still not equal citizens in a lot of places, and we're still not equal in a lot of people's eyes. And like, pride is every goddamn day, just like being yourself authentically without any questions and just like fighting for what you believe in. It's still so important though, every day to really be proud of who you are and really express that and try and, you know, change the world with what you can do.
Hey guys, my name is Michael. I'm Ian. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Spectrum. It's so amazing to see where people will stand on the line.
In the process of making Spectrum as a series, what do you think is one thing you've learned?
Oh, every time I do this series, my mind opens to like, I don't know, a different galaxy. But the biggest thing I learned is like, no, everyone doesn't think the same, which is pretty obvious, but...
Well, it's not obvious sometimes, right?
Exactly.
But it's good to...
Good to check yourself.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for watching, you guys. Follow us on Instagram at Jubilee Media. We post a lot of different kind of stuff for you guys, and we also love just interacting with you. And yeah, follow us on everywhere. And we'll see you around.
See ya.
Bye.